Welcome to the 3229 cast. I'm your host, Tyler Schuler. I'm here with my co-host, Joshua Robinson, Donnie K, and Chavy P.
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing today?
And today we're here with a special guest, and we're interviewing artist Redveil.
What's good, y'all?
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, man?
So how you been, bro?
Nice, bro. I've
How
been
you
chilling in this quarantine shit. You know what I'm saying? Besides,
Yeah.
because I'm still in school, doing homework and all that, we've just been chilling, making music. We've been on Minecraft and shit, all that.
Yeah, so what kind of music are you been making? You just been making just anything that pops up in your head styled or just
Pretty much. I'm basically making like I guess you could say music that just comes to me naturally.
yeah. Because that is something that you've been definitely like just in yeah. But are you gonna work on when are we expecting an album, bro? Or a tape or new releases?
For the end of this year, probably.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Um, my biggest thing, bro, cause I like music too. I love it. But how did you fall in love with music? Cause you know there's a difference between being in love and then falling in
Yeah.
love with it. So how did you fall in love with music?
So I fell in love with music in 7th grade. Basically, I just started. Okay, so basically, how it happened is that I was in a car with my brothers one day, right? And my brother was playing this song called Palace/Curse by The Internet, and it's featuring Tyler, the Creator. And I remember that was the first time I like heard a song, and I was like, this sounds kind of different, but like I'm like attracted to this in a different way that I wasn't like already familiar with like I am now. So
Right.
basically, I Shazammed it, and then that basically got me into like Tyler the Creator. And that was the first artist I really started listening to. He's still like my favorite artist to this day
Really?
now. Yeah,
Do you
so
do you take some of your styles from him, like
yeah,
how you rap? You do?
I feel like everybody does low key, like in some way,
That is pretty true.
like people are influenced by him, whether it's
True.
like production wise or like lyrically, like yeah. But
That's true, bro.
yeah, I started just listening to Tyler the Creator. I started listening to before that though. I remember I started listening to 2014 Forceless Drive by J. Cole,
Yeah.
and that was the
Oh yeah.
first album that I got really heavily into. And then just from there, like I kind of just found like rappers that sounded like them, and stuff like that. And I just been in love with music ever since, for real.
Oh
That's
yeah.
great, bro. So production wise, you mainly produce a lot of stuff. You made tweets about it saying
Yeah,
that you mainly produce most of the stuff that goes on your album, or most of the stuff
everything
that
on my
just
album. Yeah,
yeah. The whole what was it? Your whole
10
album on
tracks.
Bittersweet Cry,
Yeah,
except for like maybe like one or two.
nah, it was the whole album.
Oh, really? Yeah, the whole
Hmm.
album you've produced it yourself. So how did you just really start learning how to produce? Did you just like listen to like different artists or like different producer interviews or what? Like how did you learn how to just produce so well to like industry quality?
I mean, I guess it was I would say trial and error. This is what I usually like. I feel like it's just a matter of getting a lot of practicing, and also having being like a well-rounded musician in general, because around the same time I started making beats, or not the same time, but about a year after I started making beats, I started playing the piano, and that helped me get my beats a lot better. And it's really just doing it every day, making stuff every day, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and then looking back on stuff, seeing, what I could have improved on. It's really just like the more you do it, the more your ears will start to notice specific things, and it's really that makes you better. I feel like.
So do you still produce beats every day? Like, or do you still at least like do the same trial and error thing every day, or you just kind of like eased off of it?
Not every day at this point, like, but I like every day that I can, definitely. Some days I just don't get on my computer, but every day that I do, I open FL. It's like the first thing I do is just open FL, because one thing about me is that I don't have like video games or anything like that,
Yeah.
and that's really just my choice. Like I never like I was into video games at one point, but I don't know. I don't really have a passion for them anymore. So that's really what I kind of do for fun now, is when I'm in the house is make beats for real.
use that trial and error like mindset in like your real life, like when you handle like setbacks and times when like you were making beats and it ain't go the way that you wanted it to. So like, is that how you combat the real world too?
Um, I would say, yeah, in some respect, I would say kind of a trial and error, but I guess like kind of the tie to both of those things is just becoming more self-aware as time goes on. Really helps you to like navigate through shit better, basically. So I became more self-aware musically as I learned more about music theory and all that, and I went back and I heard stuff in my beats that I would never do now because I know that it's like not wrong, but it just doesn't make it sound good. You know what I mean? Even in life, it's just becoming self-aware enough to know what you did wrong and to know, what you could have avoided to, you know,
Yeah.
Hmm.
go down a better path or whatever.
This is something really good to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many instruments do you play? Like what instruments do you play? Or do you just
Just
kind of learn?
piano and guitar.
So you play bass guitar too, right?
No, I feel like I'd be lying to say I play bass guitar. I played it a few times, and it's on. I played it on Run It Back, a song that I made,
Yeah.
but I don't really play it for real. Nah.
So how do you come up with just something to be like a creative song? Like, your song style isn't usually just about like your life. Everything usually has like a theme to it. Like Bittersweet Cry had a theme to it. Like, does it just kind of come naturally to you, or do you have to really sit down and like think about it?
Yeah, it's because what happens is that sometimes I'll be motivated without a lot of vision, and so I can try to force it, but the best ideas always come when I wasn't expecting them to, or when I wasn't trying to will them. They kind of just come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so do you just
So
like sit on your bed or just sit anywhere and just think, or is there some like one specific go to spot that you go to think about an album name or like a song name?
nah, definitely not a go-to spot, and that's part of it. Is that it's really kind of when I come up with some of the I feel like my best ideas is really spontaneous. So I'll be in the shower, I'll be in class, I'll be in sometimes in my bed. I know I came up with Bittersweet Cry in my room. Um, but yeah, it's the same thing with with verses and stuff like that. Like sometimes, like usually when I write a verse, it'll be in the notes on my phone. But I've come up with like whole verses in the shower, like
Verses in the shower.
type shit.
This is crazy. Oh my god.
Hey, that's lit. Hey, that's lit. I was
Ever
watching Juice WRLD. My bad, Josh. What were you saying, bro?
No, go ahead. You were already talking. Go ahead.
I was listening to Juice WRLD, and he was talking about is it like spontaneous, like verses just come to you mid at a random moment, and then you write it down, or is it just all in one sitting that you write songs?
It depends. I feel like sometimes when I'm most motivated, it'll be like in one setting, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour. I'll just like keep playing the beat and just writing. But sometimes like I won't like a few bars will come to me,
Hmm.
but not a whole song. So like I remember I was watching a show right called How to Get Away with Murder. This was like
Right,
2 days ago, and the premiere was gone, and so it's the premiere like the season coming back or whatever, right?
right, right, right.
And it was like really really intense part of the show, and then randomly this verse starts coming in my head, and it's like completely like off the wall, like completely different from what's going on in the show, and I'm like trying to like watch the show and write the shit down at the same time.
True.
And yeah, but no, it's if it is like spontaneous and I don't have like a beat in front of me, because when I write music usually is the I've already made the beat, so I rarely ever write songs without the beat already made. But
Yeah, I feel you. So like when you have the melody and the beat all together, it's easier for you for words to come into your head.
definitely, it's like the instrumental inspires it for.
You ever thought about? Oh, you ever thought about producing or uh dropping something similar? Not in this like same theme or context of Goblin, but just like something like you know,
Vitality.
yeah, yeah. Not like the same like what he was talking about, but just
Uh,
like to the same pedigree. Like, were you ever aspiring to like drop something to where
so you
it
mean like in
like
like a production?
really drop? Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think when I first started to make beats, like the majority of what I was trying to do was just remake Goblin. But I don't know. At this point, I just feel like that's not like my lane. Like I feel like I have more. I'm like stylistically, I've distanced myself from that more now than I ever have before, and I just have more of an appreciation for it than me trying to emulate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you guys have the group Humor. You guys have made a entire collab tape together, maybe a year
Yeah.
ago.
A year and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all think that y'all will make another one, or is it just like, because it did very well. It had over like thousands of plays on each song, probably combined maybe about 10,000, maybe like
Dog
somewhere
combined
close.
like 800,000.
Oh really? Oh yeah, because Capping Up is on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Capping Up is on
Yeah.
there. So like, it's almost literally a, what would 1,000 or 1 million plays be? That's like that considered maybe like kind of platinum. So like, what do y'all
Yeah.
think? Do you think you like it would be better for you guys to make another one, or are you guys just gonna kind of just like chill and make your own music?
I think right now we're kind of just chill on our solo stuff. Right now, everybody working on their own shit. You know what I mean? But I would be open to doing something like a compilation tape in the future where we all, kind of just the songs that we, because basically the way that we made the first one is that we all got together and we're like, let's all make songs for the humor tape. You know what I mean? But I think it would probably would have been better if it was just like it was kind of more, it was less forced, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
and the art came about more from in a more genuine process, and that we just combine all of that stuff and put it on one tape, as
yeah.
opposed to trying to make stuff for a tape.
So what's your relationship with Shrek Knows Rap? He's like kind of big all over in the like Twitter hip hop community, and he's like always like reposting your music, and he's always like there
Yeah,
for you. So
that
what's your
man
relationship with him?
is. All right, that's how I feel about that man. That man is very generous. That man is great because he kind of just like, okay, so basically how that relationship whatever started is that he has a curated playlist called Underrated Ogres, and I submitted my music to there a few times, and every time I submitted it, I got on. So I was like, man, that's really dope. Like, I didn't even have to I didn't have to pay or anything. Like, he's really just like giving back to underground artists, and I thought that was really cool. So I kept, putting my music on there, and I remember one day, I guess he took notice. All right, I'm gonna explain the story. Right, I was taking the shit right, and I log into my Twitter and shit, and it's like I have like 19 notifications or whatever. And normally I don't have that many notifications, especially at that point I had like 200 some followers. So at most I have like two or three when I log in, right? But I had like 19. I was like, what the fuck just happened? So I thought, somebody died or some shit. I was like, I don't know. So I click it, and then I see all these new followers and these new likes and stuff, and I scroll down and I see this tweet from Shrek, who has a lot of influence, and this is why I call this man so generous, because he has a lot of influence, and he's saying, y'all gotta check out this 15-year-old rapper named Redveil. This dude's actually fire. And I was kind of like, what the fuck? And it felt like kind of surreal because I was already following that account for like hip hop opinions and all that anyways. And then I DM'd him and I was like, yo, man, you're crazy. And he was like, yeah, for sure. It's like he was just mad humble about the whole thing. So like just from there, that relationship evolved and him continuing to look out for me, and I appreciate him.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? You were put on the Overtime playlist. That's really like the mainstream artist playlist. But it's got like Kanye, Travis
Yeah,
Scott, Joey Badass, Isaiah Rashad, Mac Miller,
exactly.
JID, like all of these like really mainstream artists who are like very big, and lots of
Right.
people listen to the playlist. It has maybe over
It's like
uh
10K or 12K, something like that.
yeah, yeah, like monthly list or people just listening. So how do you feel that you were kind of put on that? Was he just like,
That's the crazy part because I was on there for like a few days, I think, before I even knew about it. And he DM'd me and said, "Yo, I put you on this playlist." Because when I always saw that I always see the updates and stuff when he tweets out that he updated the playlist. but I just assumed that I wasn't on it. Like, I'm not an ogre time nigga. Like, come on. And then he DM'd me. He was like, "Yo, I just put you on this ogre time playlist." And I was like, "Wait." I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And then I checked it, and then my song Uno was on there, and I was like, I was really psyched about that. Or I can't say psyched because y'all niggas don't know what that means. But I was very happy about that situation.
No. So explain the DMV language to us, because all of us are from the same area, South Carolina. Explain it to us.
South Carolina, niggas be in South Carolina. All right, look. So,
Bro, don't clown us over that, bro.
I'm fucking with y'all. But look, so what did I just say? I was really psyched. Psyched means like you. Damn, I was about to define it with another slang. All right, so psyched is like you're hyped about something, like you're hyping something up. So somebody be like, instead of be like, "Oh, why you hyping it up?" We'd be like, "Bro, you sizing it, bro."
So like if somebody was like, what's like the way that we would say it here? Stop gassing it, bro.
Yeah, basically.
So you
Well, actually no,
that.
but not in, because if you saying stop gassing it, you would be like you jazzing it. That means you're exaggerating it.
Oh, so you said what now? You said jazzing?
Jazzing it. Yeah.
Jazzing, bro. What?
Like you're doing too much. Like you're exaggerating.
Do you know the roots of this?
I have no clue, dog.
Bro?
Literally, I just know that jive came from jive turkey.
Bro, what?
All right, I don't even, bro. Old niggas used to say jive turkey, and then
y'all hear this?
I don't know.
I know y'all do hear this, right?
Y'all hear this?
So what is jai? But what does that have to do with if you're saying? So what does jai mean? Explain to everybody what jai means.
So jai basically means very, like you means basically a word that you would add on to something to amplify it, right? So if you walk outside, it was cold outside, but it wasn't just cold; it was really cold. Instead of saying, "Dude, it's really cold outside," you be like, "Bro, it's not cold, bro." Okay.
And how would you spell that?
It's Jai code. JHI. But some niggas spell it JIH, and that shit is ugly.
Bro.
What?
It's JHI. Yeah.
So do y'all write this slang down, or y'all just pass it on?
Bro, it's like we texted, we all that, bro. Like,
Texted. That's
JHI. You'd be like geeking. Geeking has a lot of
Okay, we know what.
we know what geeking, man.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm trying to think.
So y'all be texting each other this. Like, if you texting me this right now, I would look at, nigga, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's every time. Every time I have a conversation with somebody about Dmv Slang, I always be like confused. So like the one he was talking about before we started recording, when I said kill, so that's like basically means that you agreeing with something that somebody said. So let's say you said something. Let's go back to that conversation I was talking about before, right? We walk outside. It's cold outside. Right? It's not cold outside. That's what you say, right? I'd be like, kill.
So,
my mother is cold as shit.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Sure, bro. Yeah,
Kill.
So how you spell that, bro?
Just kill. Just KILL. Yeah.
Like KILL.
Like the word kill.
Bro, where did y'all get this? Yeah.
Hey, nigga, I ain't come up with this shit. I was just born in PG County.
So does that have does it have like an impact on your music, or that's just where you're from?
Nah.
So you
you mean like being from PG?
Yeah.
It did at some point. Like I was making kind of, and I would, actually no, because I would say at this point, I probably would have been influenced by it anyways, because mainstream just loves the DMV sound so much. But like at one point, yeah, for sure, because I was making like kind of DMV rap sometimes, but at this point, not really.
Yeah. Oh, Don McLennan.
Yes.
I know you don't have too much of a relationship with him, but I mean, he's pretty big. He's in Brockhampton.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? I know like he's replied on one of the tweets and said that your songs are really good, especially on what was it, Soul Food?
Yeah, for Soul Food.
He said Soul Food was good.
So Don McLennan is an example of another very like generous person with an influence.
Yeah.
Because like again, he could have just been like any other industry nigga and be like, oh, this is cool, but I'm not about to say nothing. I'm not trying to give this nigga free clout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he chose to, you know what I'm saying, reach out, be like, yo, this is gas. And then he followed me, and you know what I'm saying, I'm like freaking the fuck out because I'm such a big Brockhampton fan or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know I didn't want to like annoy him or nothing with a DM because I know like famous people when if you know what I'm saying, a famous person reaches out to you or something and you freak out, like they usually don't fuck with that. So I was like, let me just chill, but like I'm very hype right now. You know what I'm saying, and then he DM'd me after I didn't even DM him. He DM'd me, and I was like really, you know what I'm saying, I was just really grateful for that whole exchange, and we had a whole conversation about music and all this shit. You know what I'm saying, like I can, you know what I'm saying, DM him for advice and shit, and he's a really cool, generous person. So yeah, I
So
fuck with
is
John.
he
I fuck with
like
him.
Shrek knows rap and he kind of helps you too, like helps you guide you like as a mentor, or is he just
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
kind of
kind of
starting. Yeah, that's
so
kind of
you guys
starting.
are starting to build a relationship?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
And you guys are he's from the DMV area, or is he specifically
Nah,
in Maryland? Oh, he's not?
Don McLennan is from. Okay, hold up, bro. I know Brockhampton is from Texas, but I think Don McLennan might be from somewhere else. I want to say Chicago or Detroit, but
Oh, I thought he was from the DMV area. I don't know why I was tripping.
nah.
So he's just somebody who really reached out to you,
Exactly.
and just kind of, you think he's gonna like mentor you or co-sign you and kind of help develop you too?
I mean, to some extent, because like I said, he's a really generous person. So he it's not just him reaching out to the underground. It does not stop with me. Like he's like commenting under somebody's like video like almost like every day saying, yo, this is hard, keep going, and all that. And he's just, you know what I'm saying, he just fucks with the underground. You know what I mean?
Going in after like this being your, or what you have done being your like foundation into getting into the industry, what right now is like what you expect or want or dream your impact will be, or like before you even started hearing Tyler on the radio, like, or whenever
Right.
you realized that you wanted to start making music, like what do you want to
What did
accomplish
I want
from
to
it?
do before music?
No. Like, what you want to do in music? Like, what's the impact you want to leave on it?
Um, um, I'm not sure. I feel like the only impact that I can leave is just the one that people naturally receive, and I don't know. I feel like at this point, I don't know what if I can predict that, but I guess I'll say before I definitely wanted to be like an artist that influenced people in the same way that a Tyler Creator did, like because that man is very influential to my life at this point, right?
I definitely agree with.
Yeah, and I wanted to be like somebody like that influenced millions of kids, but honestly, at this point, I don't know. I just gotta see what happens, I guess.
I like that.
Yeah, it's good, bro.
Yeah. Thank y'all for having me on here, bro.
No
Fuck with
No,
problem,
y'all.
man. Thank
bro.
you.
Jai like.
Kill. I'm a
Kill.
cap.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's
Looking
Atlanta though. No
forward.
cap is Atlanta, but
Looking
He
forward to
said,
see where you're going, bro.
yeah, definitely going places, bro.
yeah, I fuck with y'all.
Super proud, bro. But thank everybody for watching the 3229 cast. We're definitely gonna be creating more episodes. This is the quarantine edition. Usually the whole cast would be here in the same room recording, all hearing everything. But this whole quarantine thing has us locked up, so we're doing this over call. So sorry for if there's any quality issues, but we're just working really hard to resolve all of it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we're out.